Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense forest, there stood a tall, ancient oak tree. Its sturdy branches stretched out wide, providing shelter to many creatures. High up in this oak tree, in a cozy hollow, lived an old owl. This owl had been there for many years and had witnessed countless changes in the forest around him. His feathers were grey and worn, his eyes were sharp, and his wisdom ran deep. Every day, the owl would sit quietly on his branch, observing the world beneath him. He would watch the animals scurry about, the birds sing their songs, and the people who occasionally passed through the forest, sharing their stories and laughter. The owl saw many things happen, some good, some bad, but he never spoke about them. He just watched, listened, and learned. One day, two young squirrels were arguing at the base of the tree. One wanted to gather more nuts for the coming winter, while the other wanted to play and enjoy the sunshine. The owl listened to their bickering, but remained silent. He had seen such arguments many times before, and he knew that they would soon come to a resolution. So he watched as the squirrels eventually compromised and went off to play after storing a few more nuts. The owl blinked slowly, taking in the lesson that patience often led to understanding. Another day, a group of children wandered into the forest, laughing and playing loudly. One child bragged about how smart he was, claiming he knew everything there was to know about the forest. The owl, with his vast knowledge, could have easily corrected the child's false claims. But instead, he remained quiet, understanding that true wisdom comes from learning and not from boasting. He watched as the child learned a few lessons the hard way, getting lost for a short while before finding his way back to his friends. As the days passed, the owl continued to observe the animals, the people, and the forest itself. He saw the changing of the seasons, the ebb and flow of life in the forest, and the countless little dramas that played out under his watchful eyes. With each new experience, the owl grew wiser. He had learned that speaking too much often led to trouble, and that by observing carefully, one could learn far more than by constantly talking. One evening, as the sun set and the forest grew quiet, a young bird flew up to the old owl. "Wise owl," the bird chirped, "you've seen so much in your life. Can you tell me how you became so wise?" The owl blinked slowly and replied in a soft, hoarse voice, "By watching and listening more than I speak. The more you observe the world around you, the more you will understand. Wisdom is not in the loudest voice, but in the quietest mind." The young bird nodded, thanking the owl for his advice, and flew away to share the lesson with others. And so the old owl continued to live in his oak tree, growing wiser with each passing day, knowing that the key to wisdom was not in speaking, but in being watchful and mindful of the world around him. Moral of the story: talk less and be more observant. True wisdom comes from listening, watching, and learning from the world around you.